is called Super Duper Easy. That's quite encouraging for a title. Make a function that returns the value multiplied by 50 and increased by 6. If the value entered is a string, it should return error. So don't assume necessarily that this input parameter a will come in as an actual number value. Note, in C# you'll always get the input as a string, so the above applies if the string isn't representing a double value. So it sounds like the idea is for it to be a double, but it may not be. And notice in their tests below they use hello as an input and are expecting that capital error that they described in the instructions. And they do have an example 1.2 here, a double floating point value. So you know what to do. Pause, have a go at it, come on back. And for this one, I'm going to do a try-catch statement. Not sure if we've done these. I think so, but maybe not. Either way, it's good practice. So the way this basically works is that you can put a, let's call it a questionable piece of code enclosed within the scope of this try statement, and that it's going to be on guard for possible exceptions that are thrown. So anything that's likely to throw an exception, or you could see it, you can kind of guard with this try block. And if the exception type is caught below, you can handle it. And so we'll do that. In our case, they said they wanted the string error returned, right? If we have trouble converting, we'll catch that exception and we'll return the string error. So that should work. And then the next point is, okay, so how do we go about converting this string to a double? And we've seen the convert class a lot for that, right? Remember, convert, they have various types, to integer, to double. I'm going to use the to double one. And we'll note that it returns a double. And then also note the exceptions here. If the value is not a number in a valid format, we get this format exception. So I'll actually take that type and use it over here. We'll say format exception, and we'll give it a name, just like you would name a parameter. Call it exception. It's common to use the letter E as that name, but this is up to you. And typically when you catch an exception, you can access properties of the exception to print out an error message, but again, we're just going to return error. That's what they told us to do. So I'm going to copy that. It was convert to double, right? And then what was that signature again? It just takes the string itself and it will return a double. So we'll put, and you know what, I don't like this. This is just terribly named. I'm going to call this value text for my parameter name. Or maybe I'll even say num text for a number. Convert to double that. We know this whole thing should return a double, so we've got to convert that back to a string, right? They wanted it passed back in string form, not as a double, and that's also why this error string can be returned, because it's expecting a string. So I'll just use the toString method for that. So we're going to attempt to convert to a double. If there's a problem, if this input is malformed, we learned from the doc page that it's going to raise this format exception, which will be caught because it's in the try block here. And if we catch that, we'll do this. That's the gist of it. So I'll go ahead and test it. What did I do? The variable e is declared but never used. I didn't think I have to use that. I wonder, did I forget? Oh, you know what? We want the result of the whole thing. That's one mistake. I don't know if it's the same, but let's at least correct that. I don't want to call it toString until this whole operation is done and I have that double value that's produced here. Let me see if that had anything to do with it. No. Let's see, string, what did we need here? Using system, format exception, E. What did I do here? I spell something wrong? Format exception. I didn't think I had to actually do anything. Convert to double. String text. Oh, you know what? I forgot half the instructions. So one other problem, remember, not just convert it to a double, but I had to do the operations multiply by 50 and add 6, increase by 6. And it's okay to type these out as integers because this quantity right here will be a double. As long as one of these operands are a double, the arithmetic should be done in double form. But you would want to be careful if you only had integers. You may have to force one. You could do something like that to force it. But this should be okay. Let me run a test again. Okay. See, I didn't think I had to use E. I'm not sure what that last error message was about. I'll run the larger attempt, make sure it doesn't come up. Okay, so yeah, that was weird. I'm not sure why. Something must not have made sense about what I had before. Anyway, I won't worry about it. This looks good. I'll go ahead and submit this off. But yeah, that's the whole problem. Multiply by 50, add 6. Okay. We will submit that. Nice use of try catch there. And they used double try parse. We've used that in the past where you make this variable of the type double that you want out. You pass it as an out parameter, which when you run try parse, it'll populate that value for you. So same kind of idea there. And try parse, I believe, yeah, it would have to if this works. So it would return a Boolean value, and then they set it up with a ternary operator where if it was successful, then multiply by 50 and add 6, convert it to a string, or else error. So yeah, that's pretty similar. Good way to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much what we did. Notice they didn't even put an exception type there. So yeah, if you did it differently, feel free to share. Any questions, hit me up. Thanks for watching.